Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God, on Metal 107.3 WKLQ with Greg Giles and Steve Barrett.
This is Metal on Pure Rock 107.3 KLQ.
All right, welcome back. It's Metal. It is KLQ. We have been talking about this for a while, and we are glad we are finally doing this. We have with us tonight the Metal God himself, Mr. Rob Halford.
What an introduction. I hope I can live up to the expectations behind that wonderful introduction. Hello, fellas. What's up, Greg? What's up, Steve?
Oh, you have no idea how excited we are to talk to you, Rob.
You've had a busy year, not only the amazing Priest thing, Nostradamus, which is just fantastic, but we've seen you get back into sort of a little bit of your history just prior to that as well this year.
Yeah.
With the reissue of the Fight material and also, of course, the Halford material itself.
Right.
What prompted you at this time to really go back and get these things out again to the public?
Well, I think I'd like to think that I've got a bit of value attached to them. You know, I mean, I've been afforded this wonderful life in metal by the millions of metalheads around the world. The fans are what drive all of us, you know, no matter what we do. We need our audience, you know, these hardcore metalheads are so vital. And the fact of the matter is that I'd got all that stuff left kind of laying around when I returned to the love of my life, Judas Priest, and I didn't really know what to do with it, so I approached some of my friends in the business, and at the end of the day I thought, you know, screw this, I'll do it myself. So I put together this Metal God Entertainment company, and over the last year or so we've just been doing these retrospective look-backs that all really connect to my career in metal. I'm closing in on 40 years of being a metalhead, so you know, we've been going through the Fight moment and more recently with some of the Halford stuff, and now we finally got to that great moment in Rock in Rio in 2001, where the Halford band went on stage in front of 250,000 South American metalheads. So, you know, it's good to be able to do these things.
Was that the largest audience you had played to up until that point?
I think there was one even bigger than that, and fortunately it was in the United States, and it was at the US Festival. I don't know whether you remember that. That was in the 80s. I mean, I'm the old man talking here. But I remember we did that show with Scorpions, with the Motley Crue, Triumph, Van Halen. It was a 3-day event. One was a New Wave day, one was a Country and Western day, and one was a Metal day, and the Metal day was the biggest one. And allegedly there was over 300,000 people there.
Debauchery.
So that was just sick, you know, it was insane. But, you know, to go back to something similar to that was remarkable in 2001 with the Halford band, and now it's out there for you to check out in all its metal glory.
How did you end up breaking free from Epic Sony and retaining all your musical rights to form Metal God Entertainment?
They were very, very generous. They've just been wonderful. And, you can't avoid the business side of what we do, you know, and some people are dickheads and some people are wonderful, and everybody associated with Sony has been a real joy to work with. So, they were very, very cool about, especially the Fight material, and I know to write a few checks in some other areas, but the payoff is that you own it all yourself at the end of the day, and you can do what you want with it and cherish it and, you know, look after it. And that's what we've been doing since we put the Metal God Entertainment label together just over a year ago.
Yeah, it's amazing that we are able to have this again, because, I mean, we know of so many bands that have run into problems with past contract deals that come back to haunt them, and things go out of print. And I know this material had been out of print for a while, and it's just so great we're able to have it again.
Thank you, and if there's any bands listening in, get yourself a good manager and a lawyer. That small print can really screw things up at some point. So just be sure to make sure that that's, you know, vetted and looked after. And you can't shrug it off. You can't say, oh man, I just want to play in a band. We all do, but you've got to look after those types of things, because they literally can, you know, come back and bite you on the ass and mess things up. So, having said that, yes, it's been fantastic to be able to add all of these things to the metal past.
After leaving Judas Priest, did any other bands contact you and offer you a gig?
Well, just to recap that whole story again. At the end of the Painkiller tour, I'd made it known to everybody that one of my wishes was just to step out and do some of these things that I'd wanted to do. I mean, I remember talking about these desires way back as far as the Turbo years, but finally got round to the Painkiller time, and I was dead certain on really wanting to do it, and I got the blessing from everybody. But talking of the business side of it, that's what really screwed it up. There was just a massive confrontation in terms of some of the rubbish that goes on, and it created these real difficulties. I mean, none of us still can firmly put our finger on exactly what happened, but the past is the past, and I was able to get a lot of things out of my system and keep a record of them. So I like to think that the music of the Fight band and the Halford band, and to some extent, if I can get round to it, the one-off moment that I did with Trent and Johnny Five on the two projects, it's all there. Make of it what you will.
That particular one is interesting because that one seems to have galvanized a lot of people. There's either people who really love that project, or there's other people who are like, "Oh, what's he doing that for?"
You got to, music is music, and I'm just the same as everybody else. If I don't like something, I'll just, move on. And I guess that's what a lot of people did with that too event. Some people accepted it and thought it was really cool. Some people just, threw it out the window of a moving car. But anyway, if you can get beyond a certain built-in resistance that I think it's normal to have around an artist that you admire and that you only want to be listening to in a certain style and direction, just listen to it for its musical merits. I think there's some really cool stuff on there.
Yeah, we used to play it in the club. I thought it was pretty cool at the time. I mean, you've been able to really, you've been one of the guys who've been able to really kick back and just not settle into one thing and kind of constantly reinvent yourself to some degree. How do you find the energy, the ability to do that? Where I think others kind of just get cornered into something and that fades out and we don't hear from them anymore.
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of it is luck and fate and destiny, whatever you want to say. It's the people that you hook up with, like-minded people. The bulk of my career has been with the band that I love more than anything in the world, Judas Priest, and the chemistry within that band is still intact and very powerful and potent. And a lot of it comes from the writing team of Glenn and KK and myself. It's just the three minds together make something special happen. And there's a history of that, whether it's Lennon and McCartney or Jagger and Richards or Young and Young from AC/DC or, Gene and Paul from Kiss and on and on and on. So that's really where the magic happens. And then beyond that, it's the fans. You can't do anything without the fans. It's all about the fans. They're the people that give you the reason to keep going. If nobody shows up, what are you going to do? But the metalheads always show up for Priest, and that's wonderful, and we appreciate that, and we're eternally grateful for that support the fans give us. So, you finish your big tour and you play to millions of fans, and you go, well, we've got to do something else, for ourselves to a certain extent because we love making metal, but the fans that support you.
What is the reason behind releasing the Christmas Ride by Fight?
Simple. I remember we were in the studio in Tempe, in Arizona, doing the follow-up to Fight. I think we were doing Small Deadly Space, and it was heading towards the holiday season, and I just happened to think, there's never really any metal stuff out there. So that was just the idea, the genesis of the moment, and I, quickly went into a huddle with the rest of the band, and we banged that song out in an hour or so. So it was a limited release. It went out to all you guys in radio. It was never really a public release, but each holiday season we offer it as a free download. If you go to robhalford.com and just bump over into one of the subdivisions of that site, you can get it for free.
Right at halfordmusic.com, download Fight's Christmas Ride for free.
It's a Harley Davidson with a Santa Claus on it,
By the way, on the Metal Gods Essentials, speaking of the motorcycle, man, is that actually your motorcycle, or is that an artist rendition?
No, it's my Harley, yeah. It's the one that's back with Priest now. In fact, it was the Priest bike originally. It was an 81 lowrider. It's been chopped and customised since then. But that's the sound of the bike on the Christmas ride, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Can we talk a little bit about Nostradamus?
Of course we can.
Do you think a lot of people were surprised at the very kind of prog rock direction of that record? We loved it.
Yeah, I think if you